Welcome to the Onks Woodwind video series. The information we provide is designed to be practical and simple to help you navigate this crazy world of woodwinds. We are excited you are here with us and hope this information increases your knowledge so you feel more confident with your instrument. Now sit back and enjoy this presentation. Hello, this is Jason Onks from Onks Woodwind Specialist in Smyrna, Tennessee. Today's video, we're going to show you how to disassemble the oboe octave keys so that you can remove the octave vents and clean them. So the first items that you will need to do that, you'll need a screwdriver. That way you can remove the keys from the oboe. It's very helpful to have a pair of pliers, and I highly recommend using a pair of pliers that have smooth jaws on the inside. You will also need your octave vent remover. This particular one is available from most double reed supply stores, and it's adjustable. That way you can clean octave vents from many different brands with one tool. You will also need a Q-tip or multiple Q-tips. We also recommend it's helpful to have a pipe cleaner, and very helpful also to have a can of compressed air. So once you have all those items, plus your oboe, you're ready to begin your work cleaning the octave vents. Okay, now that we have all the tools and the oboe, let's get to it. Now, in the interest of time for this video, I'm only going to do one of the octave vents. So I'm going to do the first octave vent, which is this smaller key on the top center. But if you're doing this at home or in your oboe studio, it'll be beneficial to do both octave vents, which would be this one up here also, the second octave key. So for now, let's go ahead and start by taking the first octave key off of the oboe. So you'll grab your screwdriver and put it in the rod and slowly turn that backwards so that the rod comes out. And then at this point, you can try to grab it with your finger. Sometimes it's hard to pull out with your fingers, and that's where your pliers with the smooth jaws comes in. So you would lightly grab the rod with the pliers and wiggle that out. And then you can take that off the oboe. And it's always a good idea to put the rod back in the key so you don't lose anything. And just so you see this clearly, I'm also going to remove the first octave lever right here, just so you can see in the video clearly. And so this one also, we'll turn that rod backwards. And this one I think I can grab with my finger. All right. And then put the rod back in that key. Please be aware, several keys like your second octave key and this octave lever key, they have needle springs. Those are very sharp, so try to keep your hands away from those. Okay, so now we have exposed the octave vent, and so we need to remove that with the tool that we spoke of earlier. For most of you will be this adjustable octave vent remover. However, in our shop we remove so many octave vents, this tool has worn out over time and does not adjust properly. So I have made my own just simply out of a flathead screwdriver. I ground and filed until the 2 points were the right width, and I can use this on several different brands of oboes. So once you have your tool and the oboe and the keys off, you can take your octave vent removal tool and very carefully put it in the 2 holes on each side of the octave vent. Sometimes these octave vents are very difficult to remove, so the key is to place the tool in those 2 holes and just very firmly make sure that the tool is in place before you try to turn. If you were to try to turn too fast or too soon and that octave vent doesn't want to let go, it's very easy to slip, and so you could scar the wood or the plastic. But even worse than that, you could completely slip off the whole instrument and go into your hand, and so we don't want that to happen. So again, place the tool in the two holes on each side of the octave vent. Hold it very firmly and securely, and as soon as you know you're very secure, very slowly with a little bit of force, start turning that octave vent. And this one started turning right away, so this is a good day. Continue turning it very slowly, very deliberately. And so I can see there, it's out enough where you can literally just turn it with your finger at that point. Sometimes they are not that loose, and so sometimes you'll just have to use the tool to remove the vent the whole way out. But that one came out very nicely. So I'll set that there. Now, if you're removing both octave vents and cleaning both of them, it's a good idea to keep them in order. The octave vent needs to go back in the exact same hole that you took it out of. So just keep in mind which vent goes in which hole. Okay, now that we have that removed, we need to clean it. So for you guys at home or in the studio, we recommend just cleaning it with a dry Q-tip or pipe cleaner. So you can first start off with the pipe cleaner, and you simply stick the pipe cleaner through the hole very slowly. But here's the key for the pipe cleaner. The pipe cleaner has metal wire in the center of it, and you could scratch the bore on the inside. So at that point, I will always hold the oboe up and look into the bore so that I can see the pipe cleaner come through. And then once it's in there, I just want to put it in far enough so that it's cleaning the hole, and I'll move the pipe cleaner back and forth. All the while I'm eyeing down into the bore so that I don't scratch the bore with the pipe cleaner. And so it just needs to go through just enough. And so once I've done that for a few seconds, then you can pull the pipe cleaner out. This particular one you can see is fairly dirty. There's actually some green coloration there, and so that's some corrosion that have built up in there. So that's a good example of one that needed cleaning. At that point, you can also take your Q-tip, and I'll take the Q-tip and I'll actually roll it between my fingers to create a point. And once it's in a point, it will go down into the octave vent and will actually go through the hole towards the bore, and then I'll press down and turn, just like you were screwing the octave vent back in. It's almost like you're screwing the Q-tip down into the octave well. And then once you do that, it comes fairly tight, and then you can essentially unscrew it. And pull that out. And again, here you can see there's all kinds of dirt, dust, debris buildup over time, and then again there was the green corrosion right where the octave well starts to go down into the bore. And so all of this needed to be cleaned out. So now I can actually do a visual. I can look down in there and I can sure enough see that the octave well is very clean. So now we need to do a quick cleaning of the vent itself. Because this is metal, you could also use an alcohol, isopropyl alcohol or something like that to help you clean this. But really, just cleaning it with a dry pipe cleaner, you can wipe away a lot of the old buildup of dust and dirt. This one had some green corrosion on it. Just kind of wiping that. Again, take another Q-tip, roll it up, and on the underside, the part of the octave vent that goes down into the oboe, you can actually use that pointy Q-tip part to go in there, and again turn it, and then that will remove dust and dirt debris that's in the octave vent itself. And then I do that again also for the top. So we turn the octave vent over. This is the portion that you can see when it's installed in the oboe. So I can clean that part of the hole, and that one was also very dirty. Now that you've done that, the compressed air comes into play, so we can blow the compressed air through the hole of the octave vent to remove any excess dirt or dust that might be in that little tiny hole. You can also use that to help do the final cleaning of the octave well inside the oboe itself. Just like that. So that's the basic cleaning for you guys at home. Once you have that done, we need to reinstall the octave vent. So we'll take the octave vent, set it back into place. And to get it started, you always want to just use your fingers. That way you don't cross thread the threads. It should turn very nicely into place. And so basically you just want to turn it with your fingers until you can't do that anymore. And so once you know it's in place, then you can grab your tool again, and again very firmly and securely turn the octave vent back into place. And so here's also where some people make a mistake. They think the octave vents have to be really, really tight, and I do not think they have to be super tight. So when I'm reinstalling an octave vent, as I'm turning it back in, the first hint of it hitting the octave well below it, which is here, then I will just do a little snug, just a tiny bit more turn, just to snug it up a little bit. But if you overturn it, the octave vent itself could break, or it could make it very difficult for someone in the future to remove it once it's dirty again. A lot of times corrosion builds up, and it makes it very difficult for the octave vent to be removed. So that is the basics of how to remove your keys, how to remove the octave vent, how to clean the octave vent, and then how to replace the octave vent once it's clean again. Now that you have cleaned and reinstalled the octave vent, it is imperative that you seal the octave vent in place. Please check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/onkswoodwind for all of our videos, but especially the video on how to seal your octave vent. We are honored that you chose to spend your valuable time with us. If you have any questions about the content you just watched, don't hesitate to contact us through our website, onks.com. If there is something you would like for us to present on video, send us an email with video idea in the subject line to office@onks.com. We would love to hear your ideas, and we'll do our best to accommodate your request. We would also love to connect with you on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us there at Onks Woodwind. Until next time, we extend you many blessings.